Hey, old gaming guru here. I am actually doing the fourth in my series on PoE, Path of Exile, which is the quest to make Melee great again. So really quickly here, let me just show you my build. This is now 96. I've actually slogged it out. Thank you, new mechanic that I've actually been having a lot of fun with, which is the town. So I'm going to run, I believe it's a tier 16 map with 3 scarabs, and I just want to show you what the build looks like in action here before we kind of go over the mechanics of what I did to improve the last time I made a video. And by the way, these videos are just meant to be fun. I love PoE. I've been playing since inception, and I'm really excited to see the new PoE too. But for a number of years, I felt like I was just running the same build over and over and over again. It was either a miner or ballista wielding cleric, and I really missed my early days when I fell in love with the game, which was basically spinning around and killing stuff with a big axe. And so I was really excited to hear that they're coming back and redoing Melee. So what I'm doing here right now is I am actually just running around and clearing stuff in this map. As you can see, I've got it pretty well tricked out. I added the scarabs. I've got most of the major things that'll add mobs to it, including our rogues gallery here that keeps popping out and trying to kill me. And at this juncture here too, I've also managed to kill most of the tier 1 bosses, so the Elder, the Maven, the Shaper. I have not gotten to those yet. I'm still working on clearing enough maps to actually get to Maven herself. So the tier 1 bosses are actually going down pretty easy. So right now, I feel this build is pretty tanky. It could use a little more damage. We're running about 5 million DPS in PoB, but PoB to me is kind of, if everything goes right, I would say we're probably running closer to 1 to 2 million per individual mob that's here, just by feel out of all these years. So, my miner, if I was running the miner right now, this would just be a cakewalk. This is looking pretty cakewalky today. So I'm happy. I just finished my changes over the weekend, so I'm feeling pretty comfortable about this build right now. And I put in a little bit of damage reduction. So on critical hits, so I put it in enough so that I don't get one shot quite as often. What's weird in PoB too is I noticed when I put that in, it didn't actually change my effective health pool, which I found interesting. Like I said, I use PoB kind of as a guide. I like to actually go more by gut feel. And I'm sorry here, I'm running around. I've been farming gold like crazy to try and keep my town running. It's been a great mechanic, but it gets a little old just farming for gold when you need it. And right now I'm trying to upgrade my town to 11, which is 100,000 gold, so hence when I made this video is I'm running around killing everything there, trying to find any extra gold floating around. And you can see here, even in big packs, I'm taking very little damage and clearing very nicely. I have also not gotten to it. I have never run a tier 17 map, believe it or not. So I always get to that point, and then usually real life takes over, and I have to kind of drop the character for a bit. Hey, one of the things that's a great tip here is if you're not adding shrines to your map, man, these are just unbelievable in terms of clear speed. I always make sure when I do my skill tree for my atlas, I go ahead and pick up at least one shrine major node so I can actually have more of these pop up. The one right now I've got is actually, if I hit a shrine, I get a secondary effect as well too. It is just unbelievable. If I get the one with attack speed, I can pretty much just clear anything. I got lucky with the Minotaur. I actually got that one. That was pretty excited. So here's the map boss. I think it's a 15 or 14 tier. But as you can see here, he's taking decent damage. He's not going. My miner, like he would have already been down. I think I've actually done bosses like this in like less than a second. The same with my ballistic totems. But as you can see here, nice run, smooth. You can see I can take some damage. I'm really, really happy overall with the quality of this build and the playstyle of melee. And I've gotten to the point now where I'm starting to get a little bit bored, so I don't even bother picking up all the uniques. I already know what they all are after God knows how many years of playing. I'm even throwing some away. I guess I just don't need that basic currency so much. And here's the mechanics of the town. This can also, too, get pretty rippy if you don't watch out. Sometimes these big balls drop out of the sky that just smush you flat and one-shot you. But like I said, that 30% reduction of critical hit damage has done a lot to make me tankier. And that's pretty much it for the map run. Okay, so let's take a look at my POB tree and see what I changed and how that it's affected basically my overall damage performance. Okay, so first off, if you look at my tree, not much has changed, except for I did take out some accuracy and attack speed, replaced it with some other attack speed, and my goal is now to get a cluster gem to replace this Megalomaniac, which will give me attack speed and also damage on leech. And plus, of course, I've got to have my 2 fan blades, which gives me the extra projectile, which brings me up to 6. So that is my goal currently, is to get that done and replace these points with a bigger gem here. I've got the gem, I'm just not getting the RNG to get the rolls. So not much else on my tree changed, except for I did change this. This is a big spike in damage here, Claw Mastery. Um, it gives you about an additional 7% base damage. So when you increase your effective elusiveness because you're using Nightblade Gem, it actually will give you a nice damage bonus. Plus, it makes you harder to hit. So that is my major changes I can see here on the tree. So the rest of my changes are actually pretty easy to see. So we go over to items, and I changed a flask out to this 40% increased damage consecrated ground on use. So that gave me a nice bit of bonus as well too. Um, not sure why it's not showing here in POB, but that should be giving me a nice damage boost. And I think I also too did this rock cut flask because it pretty much gives me complete 100% time up on uh, Brain's Dead here on Onslaught. So that was another major change I made, but pretty much stayed the same on all that. I did get an amazing new claw. Cost me 2 divine. And right here it added a bunch of lightning and cold damage and also gave me 6% increased attack speed. So all of that was good and a little bit more critical chance. I would have liked a crit multiplier, but I didn't have any more divines than that, so we were pretty much going to have to go with what I could afford. So the rest of this is pretty much staying the same. The other thing that I added, if I jump over to skills, I added 2 awakened gems, and that added quite a bit. All in all, I figured this added about nearly 45% increased damage, or nearly doubled my damage. So it was quite a bit of boost from just those 5 changes. So the awakened gems, if you haven't gotten them, they're expensive, but lightning damage is cheap. I would like to change this over to Trinity, but once again, I've got to afford some certain components before Trinity becomes really effective. I think it's a Nifis ring that allows me to take full advantage of Trinity, and I think it's 185 divine. But these 2 gems here, I think, cost me all in all 110 chaos, so it wasn't too bad. Lightning was like 10, it was nuts. So, but you can see here they're 1 and 2, so I'm not even getting my full potential. If I bump those up a bit to 5s, you can see here that makes a huge difference in the performance of my character. So that's pretty much it. I don't know how much farther I'll go with this character. Now it's getting to be is how much time do I have in my life? If I'm playing an hour a day at tops to two, maybe to try to come up with the additional divines to actually buy the equipment I need to take this thing to 20 million DPS beast. But five right now has made me pretty happy, and I'm able to clear nearly most of the main content in the game. So that's it for this video. Old Gaming Guru out.